Leo soul, radiant and fierce, have you ever felt the strange pull of destiny in the quietest moment of your day, something invisible nudging your spirit to pause, to listen, to arrive here, right now? Because what's coming for you will shake you. The best is not just possible. It's already in motion. The shift you've been hoping for financially, emotionally, spiritually is about to make its presence known. And not in a whisper. It's coming as a breakthrough, a divine interruption, an undeniable confirmation that the universe has been watching you all along. This message is not entertainment. It's divine timing. From September 6th to 8th, you are standing inside one of the most powerful energetic windows of your year. With the full moon in Pisces illuminating emotional truth, Jupiter harmonizing with Mercury to deliver sudden opportunities, and the sun lighting up your second house of values and money, the universe is staging a moment that's been a long time coming. A moment that answers your prayers not with subtle clues but with real, tangible shifts. I need you to understand this clearly. The reason you've been feeling everything so intensely lately isn't because something's wrong. It's because something's finally aligning. You are being prepared for a reward that matches your resilience. This is what happens when divine timing meets a heart that didn't give up. And maybe, just maybe, you've been wondering if anyone sees how much you've been holding together behind the scenes. If anyone notices the quiet sacrifices, the loyal love, the unspoken prayers. I want you to know, the answer is yes. It's being seen. All of it. This isn't random. This is your divine cue. Your energy has called in this moment. It's not a coincidence that you found this video, it's a cosmic appointment. Something about the title, the timing, or the feeling in your chest brought you here. And what you're about to discover over the next few minutes may change the way you look at your path entirely. Before we continue, I want to take a moment to honor you for showing up here, for opening your heart, and for allowing this sacred message to meet you right where you are. Every comment you leave, every moment you engage with this space, brings you closer to a community that was made for souls like yours. Thank you. Your support allows this channel to continue offering healing, insight, and spiritual direction to thousands of souls walking their unique path. And today, the universe has chosen to speak directly to you. You'll want to stay until the very end of this reading, because what's being revealed is no ordinary forecast. What's unfolding is a divine answer through tarot, astrology, and intuitive alignmental questions your heart has been carrying for far too long. So tell me, what brought you here today? Was it a whisper you couldn't ignore? A sign you kept seeing? A hunger for clarity your soul refused to silence? Leave a comment below to confirm your connection with this message. Declare it. Anchor it. Let the universe and yourself know that you are ready to receive. Let's begin. The best is yet to come, but first, let's reveal what's already here. There's something sacred about a flame that refuses to go out, even when buried in shadow. That's exactly where this moment finds you, Leo, not in the place of defeat, but at the quiet edge of transformation. You've carried the weight of silence. You've stood still while the world demanded movement. And yet, something within you, ancient, fiery, divine, has kept burning beneath it all. This is not the beginning of your story, but the beginning of a new chapter. One where your internal spark finally becomes a blazing sun. The card that rises here, the star, is not just a symbol of hope, it is the living breath of restoration after trial. It is the soft whisper of promise after a long season of endurance. It appears only when the soul has walked through the dark night and survived without losing its shape. The star reminds us that light doesn't come because we demand it. It comes because we are finally ready to hold it. This phase in your journey isn't asking you to rush forward or pretend everything is fine. It's asking something far more profound. Can you finally stop betraying your own brilliance by holding on to things that no longer resonate with your truth? Can you gently but honestly let go of the illusions that told you who you should be, and instead, honor the clarity of who you actually are? You see, the first step in this miraculous turning point is to release illusions, the ones that said you're not enough, that made you chase approval, that told you joy is for other people, not you. Those illusions were never yours to carry. They were planted in moments of vulnerability, but now, your inner fire knows how to burn through them without apology. The second step is ending delay. Not because timing isn't sacred, but because waiting has become a hiding place. The truth is, there is no perfect moment, only the moment when you decide you're done waiting for permission to live fully. And Leo, if you're here, that moment is now. You are no longer being asked to prepare. You are being asked to trust that you are already prepared. The gifts, the growth, the grace theory not ahead of you, they're within you. You only have to say yes. The third and most powerful step is walking forward with clear, grounded light. Not false positivity. Not forced affirmations. But a luminous honesty that says, I am willing to see myself clearly and still choose myself with love. That is what the star illuminates, your willingness to believe in something greater, even when you can't yet see it. That belief is not weakness. It is sacred courage. And isn't that what faith truly is? Not blind hope, but the deep knowing that no darkness is final. That somehow, even in chaos, a higher order is working. That when you water seeds of intention with trust, the harvest always comes, sometimes not in the way you expected, but always in the way you needed. There is a verse I carry often in seasons like this: we walk by faith, not by sight. It is not about religion, but about surrendering the illusion of control and welcoming the unknown as an ally. Just as a flame does not question the sun, your heart must not question whether it's worthy of light. You are the light. So, let me ask you something, Leo. Have you ever felt lost, but continued anyway simply because something inside you refused to stop believing? That something is sacred. That quiet, persistent inner nudge is what brought you here. And it's what will carry you forward. This is the part of your story where the ember becomes a blaze. Where endurance becomes elevation. Where healing becomes your new home. And your only job now is to keep walking toward what already knows your name. When we talk about destiny shifting, we often imagine a sudden moment of magic, an email, a phone call, a door flying open. But what if I told you that most breakthroughs are born in silence? That the most life-altering rewards come not from what's loud and dramatic, but from what's been nurtured quietly behind the scenes. This is the space you are standing in now, Leo, the golden doorway of quiet harvest. And the universe, in its perfect orchestration, has been watching you all along. With Jupiter in a harmonious trine to Mercury during this sacred window of September 6th to 8th, an energetic pattern is unfolding that supports news, contracts, revelations, and sudden opportunities flowing into your material world. Jupiter is the planet of expansion, Mercury the messenger, and together, they speak one truth. What you've been working on is about to speak for itself. If you've been consistent, if you've stayed the course even when there was no applause, if you've kept refining your gift while no one was watching, this is your reward season. The tarot confirms this alignment through the Eight of Pentacles, a card that rarely makes noise but always brings results. It's the archetype of the devoted artisan, the humble worker in the temple who shapes beauty not for recognition, but for love of the craft. It's the card of the person who shows up anyway. Day after day. Quietly. Steadily. The Eight of Pentacles doesn't chase the spotlight, becomes the spotlight because the light cannot help but find those who have mastered patience. And isn't that the truth about abundance? That it doesn't come to those who scream for it, but to those who are ready to manage it wisely. The kind of prosperity being prepared for you now isn't just a paycheck, it's a return on energy. It's the financial equivalent of being seen, valued, and finally met halfway by the world. Not out of luck, but out of spiritual alignment. This is especially powerful for those of you in creative fields, entrepreneurship, or any role where your output is based on soul-driven labor, writing, coaching, designing, healing, teaching, or sharing online. The seeds you planted, your ideas, your late nights, your failed drafts, none of them have been wasted. They were simply beneath the surface, gestating in the invisible soil of time. Now, the metaphor shifts. It is no longer sowing season. It is harvest. And your only task is to open your hands and receive what is ripening in your name. Not to chase. Not to prove. Just to show up with clarity, readiness, and humility. That said, guidance remains clear. Stay alert. Check your inbox. Revisit old conversations that once felt inconclusive, they may hold new keys now. Review your finances not from fear, but from grounded awareness. Ask yourself, if abundance came today, would I be prepared to use it well? What would I invest in? Who would I support? How would I honor it without sabotaging it? In astrology, the second house where the sun now shines for Leo rules more than just income. It governs self-worth. The money arriving in this season is also a mirror, reflecting back how deeply you believe in your own value. This is why spiritual prosperity and financial prosperity are always connected. So let me ask you gently, have you felt like you've worked hard for so long, and still haven't been fully seen? That maybe, just maybe, something powerful is coming but it hasn't landed yet? If this resonates, it's not your imagination. It's your intuition aligning with cosmic timing. Leave a comment to confirm what's opening for you. Sometimes, just speaking it aloud, "I'm ready to receive what I've earned," is the final act that breaks the dam. This is not just about money. It's about becoming the kind of person who can hold what they once only dreamed of. And Leo, you're already on your way there. Some doors don't slam shut, they drift closed quietly, softly, almost respectfully, as if giving us one last chance to choose peace over comfort. This phase of your journey, Leo, isn't about destruction or abandonment. It's about recognition. A moment of deep inner honesty where you finally look at what you've been holding onto and ask yourself, is this still true for me? Not out of anger. Not out of fear. But from a place of radical self-respect. The Death card, often misunderstood, doesn't speak of finality, it speaks of sacred endings. It appears when something has run its course. Not because it failed, but because it completed its purpose. And while the ego resists change, your higher self knows this. To grow, you must release what is no longer aligned. Just like a tree must shed its leaves in autumn, not out of loss, but as a natural preparation for the next blooming. Sometimes what we need to let go of isn't dramatic. It can be subtle. A job that drains your joy even if it pays the bills. A relationship that feels more like obligation than connection. A story you've told yourself for years, maybe decades, that you're only valuable when you perform, please, or produce. These are not external chains. They are internal agreements. And you, Leo, are being asked to renegotiate the terms of your freedom. In astrology, Pluto, the planet of transformation, works hand in hand with the energy of death. It strips away what's false so that only the essential remains. Under this influence, you're not losing yourself. You're recovering your original essence. The part of you that existed before expectations, trauma, or patterns convinced you to shrink. This is why self-love is not always soft. Sometimes it looks like setting boundaries that feel like burning bridges. Sometimes it means disappointing others so you can stop betraying yourself. The discomfort of that decision is not a sign you're wrong, it's a sign you're shifting. When you honor what is true for you, the universe reconfigures around your choice. But it waits on your cue. Nothing changes until you do. This isn't about impulsively quitting or walking away. It's about clarity. Write down the things, roles, or beliefs you've outgrown. Not to judge yourself but to witness the truth. Clean your space. Let go of items that hold the energy of past versions of you. Even that one drawer you haven't touched in years can hold energetic memory. Free it. And in doing so, you begin to energetically tell your life, I'm making room. Emotionally, this phase may bring grief. Not necessarily because you miss what's gone, but because letting go means admitting how long you held on. Be gentle. Give yourself time. Your worth is not defined by how long you endure something that hurts. It's revealed by how bravely you walk away when you know it's no longer meant for you. I want to remind you that real freedom isn't found by adding more, it's found by releasing what no longer brings light. This is your sacred permission to stop holding together something that's been falling apart in slow motion. You are not failing by ending it. You are loving yourself enough to evolve. So let me ask you, from a place of care, what are you still holding that you know, deep down, wants to be released? What version of you are you ready to outgrow, not because it was wrong, but because you are now wiser, softer, and more rooted in truth? When you're ready, leave a comment to affirm it. Sometimes, writing it down is the first courageous step. And remember, endings aren't the opposite of beginnings, they are the soil from which new life emerges. What you release now will bloom later, stronger and more aligned than anything you've left behind. Love has a curious way of arriving, never on schedule, never when we feel most ready, and yet somehow always precisely when we need it. And under the glow of the full moon in Pisces, that love often doesn't come wrapped in fireworks, but in softness. A glance that holds you. A message that reaches you just in time. A moment so subtle you'd miss it if your heart wasn't listening. Pisces energy, especially under a full moon, opens the floodgates of emotional truth. It softens our protective edges and invites us to really feel the things we've kept hidden beneath the surface. It dissolves the walls we've built, not through force, but through grace. And during this time, Leo, your heart becomes a magnet not just for romance, but for soul-level connection. The cosmos isn't simply aligning to bring someone into your life. It's aligning to bring the right energy, the kind that mirrors who you're becoming, not just who you've been. If you're single, this may be a connection that surprises you, not because it's flashy, but because it feels familiar in a way you can't explain. A sense of déjà vu in someone's voice. A peacefulness in their presence. You may find yourself saying, "I didn't expect this. But it feels right." And if you're already in a relationship, this moon phase holds the potential for quiet healing, a rekindling of what once felt effortless, before responsibilities and routines clouded the connection. Not all love stories need to be rewritten. Sometimes they just need to be reread slowly, with new understanding. This is a moment to forgive, to open up, to speak gently into the spaces where silence has grown too loud. The beauty of this phase lies in its invitation to vulnerability. It asks you to risk being seen not as perfect, but as present. It's not about grand gestures. It's about small, meaningful ones. A note left on the counter. A long message you never dared to send. A phone call that begins with, "Can we talk about something real?" These are not minor acts, they are energetic doorways that say, "My heart is still here. Will you meet me?" Astrologically, Pisces governs the invisible threads, the dreams, the intuition, the soul ties we can't rationalize but deeply feel. When the moon is full in this sign, your love life becomes less about logic and more about energy. Less about status and more about resonance. It's not about who checks your boxes, it's about who vibrates at the same frequency your heart longs to sing. Love, in this light, becomes a spiritual practice. Not something to chase, but something to welcome. Not something to fix, but something to feel. And more than anything, it becomes a mirror. How you love another will reflect how deeply you're allowing yourself to be loved. And that begins with honesty. So I ask you gently, Leo, what are you holding in your heart that has gone unspoken? Is there someone you still think about, even when you pretend you've moved on? Is there a truth you need to express, not for a reaction, but for release? You are not too much for love. You are not too late for it either. If anything, this season is reminding you that the most powerful love comes when you are soft enough to receive it and strong enough to offer it freely. If this speaks to something in you, leave a comment to affirm it. Say what needs to be said, not just to the world, but to yourself. Because the truth is, one gentle word, one open moment, one quiet offering of the heart, might be all it takes for love to find you again. And maybe, this time, it's here to stay. When the noise of the world quiets just enough, the whispers of the universe begin to speak in patterns. Not in words, but in symbols. Through repeated numbers. Through colors that suddenly pull your attention. Through names that appear over and over again in ways you can't quite explain. And perhaps lately, Leo, you've noticed the repetition. A soft pull toward the number 8 or 6. A sudden awareness of the color green showing up where it usually wouldn't. A butterfly landing on your path, or perhaps, appearing in your dreams. These aren't coincidences. They are invitations. And more importantly, they are confirmations that you are not alone on this path of transformation. The number 8 holds a vibration of abundance and karmic cycles coming full circle. It represents infinite flow, the giving and receiving of energy without resistance. If you've seen it lately, it could be the universe's way of saying, your efforts are being mirrored. Your consistency is about to be rewarded. Financially, emotionally, spiritually, 8 asks you to believe in the harvest you cannot yet see but are already aligned with. And then there's 6, the number of healing, harmony, and inner balance. It points to relationships, both with others and with yourself, coming back into divine order. A reminder that not everything requires force. Sometimes healing comes through surrender, through gentle alignment rather than striving. Green, as subtle as it seems, holds a potent frequency. It is the color of the heart chakra, the space of love, compassion, forgiveness, and emotional restoration. When you're drawn to green, or it keeps finding you, it may be a signal that your heart is opening wider than before, not just to others, but to your own truth. Carrying something green with you in this phasia crystal, a piece of fabric, even a leafy plant can act as an energetic anchor for this heart expansion. It's not just aesthetic. It's vibrational medicine. And then, there's the butterfly, delicate yet undeniably powerful. It never forces its wings open. It surrenders to the process of metamorphosis, trusting that the cocoon isn't a prison, but a place of sacred preparation. If this symbol has shown itself to you recently, it's a message of grace. A sign that your transformation may not be visible to the world yet, but it is deeply real. It tells you that even if things still feel messy, you are already mid-flight. The old version of you is dissolving. The new one is learning how to soar. Sometimes, the universe sends even more personal cues. A name that starts with T, L, or M may keep showing up. It might belong to someone new entering your life to help guide you forward, or to someone from the past who still holds emotional weight. The point is not to overanalyze, but to stay open. To pause when these patterns repeat. To ask yourself, what is this moment asking me to feel, release, or receive? If you've been feeling unusually connected to your dreams, to signs, to moments that tug gently at your attention, you are not imagining it. This is a window of amplified intuition. The veil is thinner, not just between you and the universe, but between you and your own inner wisdom. Keep a journal nearby. Note the names that return. The numbers that repeat. The feelings that arise without prompting. These are your threads of alignment. Your subtle road signs guiding you toward what your logical mind may not yet see but your soul already knows is coming. Let me ask you gently, have you been noticing signs that feel oddly specific, like they were made just for you? If so, comment below and share them. Sometimes, acknowledging the message is what activates it fully. Sometimes, saying, "I see it," is the very thing that allows it to become real. Stay open, Leo. The universe is speaking. And this time, it's speaking directly to your heart. And so here you are, standing at the edge of a new rhythm, one that doesn't require you to fight, prove, or chase. Just to receive. Just to trust. Just to remember that everything you've been preparing for isn't somewhere far away, it's already circling closer, waiting for the moment you finally believe you're ready. And the truth is, Leo, you are. You've always been more ready than you thought. The shifts unfolding right now are not rewards for perfection, but reflections of alignment. This moment is not asking you to become someone new. It's asking you to return to who you've always been, beneath the masks, the doubt, and the weight you've carried for far too long. If there's one thing I hope you carry from this message, it's this: What you've been praying for is already on its way. The best thing is, the very thing you feared was too far-fetched, too much to ask, too good to be true, is moving toward you with purpose. The universe is not playing games with your heart. It has been watching you plant seeds in silence. It has seen the nights you kept going without applause, the mornings you chose faith over fear, and the moments you dared to dream even after disappointment. And now, it is bringing the response. Quietly. Powerfully. Right on time. You don't need to earn this miracle. You don't need to be more worthy, more successful, more perfect, more anything. You are enough. You are the fertile ground where change is already happening. And sometimes, the greatest act of power is simply saying, I'm ready now. I open my hands. I receive. So I invite you to anchor this moment. Not just in your heart, but in the physical world. Leave a comment below and write, 888 I'm ready to receive. Let it be a declaration. Let it be a door that you open with intention. This simple act isn't just a comment, it's an energetic signal, a conscious yes to everything your soul knows is yours. And then take it one step further. Ask yourself, who came to mind when I heard, the best is coming? What would change in my life if I truly believed that everything is about to align in my favor? What could I do today to prepare my heart, my habits, my space for what's arriving? You are not powerless in this process. You are a co-creator. Your willingness to believe, act, release, and realign is part of the sacred dance. And every time you engage with this space, every like, every comment, every share, you're not only supporting this channel, eternal mindfulness, but you're deepening your connection to a community rooted in spiritual growth and emotional truth. So thank you for being here, for watching, for showing up for yourself in this moment. Your presence is not just seen, it's felt. You are part of something beautiful. And what's coming next will be worth every quiet moment that brought you here. Stay until the very end, not just of this video but of your own process. Because sometimes, it's right at the edge of letting go that the miracle finally finds you.